All right. See how I do. If you're watching this right now, it's probably because you're not where you want to be in your dating life. Now, I know exactly where you are right now. Now, I know exactly the struggle that you're in because I once struggled. Now, I know exactly what the struggle is like because I struggled. But so I know exactly what the struggle is like because I once struggled a lot with women, dating, social life, having friends. But through a lot of trial and tribulation, a lot of looking at my friends' interactions and experiences, trying my own things, looking at probably every dating coach's content, I've seen it all. So, and now that I'm here, I know it works. I can tell you. And once I tell you these 3 steps to fixing your whole dating slash social life, even if you have like zero social life, this will get you that base, that foot in the door, a place to start. And you don't need a cold approach playbook to talk to anyone. And you don't even need to be extroverted. Like you don't need a cold approach playbook, and you don't even need to be extroverted. I'm probably the one of the most introverted people I know. And I was able to make this work naturally without needing to, overthink my words and trip over what I'm trying to say. None of that. Now, although it is only 3 steps, it now this process is only 3 steps, and I have made this extremely simple. Just because it's simple doesn't mean it's easy. So, but if you do actually, handle these 3 steps, you'll be in a better place than you ever were. Now, step number one is become physically attractive. But I don't mean like a model. You don't need to look like a model. That's not necessary at all. Here's what I mean. You can in fact be ugly. If you think you're ugly, that's on you, but I'm saying even if you're ugly, it doesn't matter. This will work. Think about like a Pete Davidson. People say Duke Dennis is ugly for some reason. And you can probably think of someone else. Even Trevor from GTA. Women say he's attractive, even though like he just looks like some homeless guy. There are traits that you are missing that these three guys have. So, becoming physically attractive. So, to become physically attractive, you just need a couple things, like just a little bit of muscle mass, height if you have height, and facial hair if you can grow facial hair. Now, the easiest one to control is muscle mass. Just go to the gym. Make sure you're lean, of course. You don't want to be fat. Being fat is not attractive. I mean, this is obvious stuff. Muscle mass, be tall, facial hair. Anything that makes you look like a man instead of a boy, basically. Women don't want to date boys. So, tattoos, haircut, whatever you want to do, make it your own look. Look how you yourself would like to see yourself look, not how you think others would like to see you. Don't do like a tattoo or a hairstyle or whatever just because of you think it would look, other people would think you're cool. Just do it for yourself. It has to always be for yourself. Okay, there you go. Step number 1. Become physically attractive. Basically, just have your own masculine look. Okay, step number 2. This is probably harder for some people than step number 1. But step 2 is to stop jerking off. Jerking off is probably the single worst thing you can do. Jerking off is probably the single worst thing you can do for your social skills. For one, you release prolactin, which suppresses your dopamine and testosterone. So you're depleting your dopamine, right? Which means you are lower energy. You're less motivated to do things. And when you lower your testosterone, it makes it harder for you to remain calm in stressful situations. Testosterone is a chemical in your body which helps you regulate your emotions and stay like this, as opposed to up and down. So yes, you need testosterone, you need dopamine in your system so that you're driven, high energy. You're able to exude the energy when you talk to people. You always have that in your system. And you're at a constant with your emotions. So that's one reason not to jerk off. The other big reason not to jerk off is that when you do it and when you look at porn and stuff, you are rewiring your brain to look at people as objects. Not just women, but men also. Because when you talk to men and you have this habit of jerking off, you don't even see men as like people you even want to talk to, because like they're not women, right? So like why do you want to talk to them? And if it is a woman, when you're in that mindset of like jerking off, watching porn, you don't even see her as like a person. You're just talking to her to, get that physical intimacy from her. And that's a big problem for all of your social interactions. Because people can tell when you're trying to get something from them. And best believe any woman you talk to will know if you're trying to get something from them. Because women, especially if they're pretty, all the time it happens, guys. Talking to them, they can just feel the energy. You're just not giving off the right energy. But if you're like me and you have jerking off under control, you don't do it, and you don't watch porn, talking to women is easy. Because for me, I don't actually want anything from a woman when I talk to them. It's just like good vibes. We're just exchanging good vibes. We're just chatting, whatever. It doesn't matter how the interaction goes. We're just having a good time. So, and that's how it should be. And let me tell you, if you take a girl on a date and you're in that mode where you don't really care if it leads to anything, you're actually going to have a much better time on these dates. And you're just automatically going to be more fun to be around. Like, it's ridiculous. It's like night and day. So yeah, step 1, that was step 2. So that was step 2, stop jerking off and stop looking at porn. So we have step 1, become physically attractive. Step 2, stop jerking off. And step 3 is understand your environment. And I'll explain what this means. And why this third step will mean you will never have to cold approach again. You don't need to cold approach. And for anyone who thinks that cold approach is good, it works for them. If it works for you, it works for you, good for you. But just think about this situation for a second. Let's say you get a girlfriend or a wife, with your cold approach method. And then you tell her, or she finds out that you have this playbook of how you're going to run this cold approach. Isn't she going to find that, like, really weird? Like, I'll bet, 10 times out of 10, she's going to find that weird. She'll just be like, you need this to talk to people? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So, step number 3 is all about the environment. You want natural interactions. Cold approach is not a natural interaction. So, even for the introverts, it's not because you're not struggling because you have no personality. It's not because you have no social skills. I'm telling you, it's just your environment. What is a bad environment and what is a good environment? I'd say a bad environment that's pretty common in this day and age is gyms. I'd say public gyms are probably a pretty bad environment for socializing. So, think about it. For example, if you go to a public gym like a Planet Fitness or whatever, I mean, how often do you even talk to people or make small talk with people? It's not a common place for small talk. And if it's not a common place for small talk, or if it's not a place where socializing is encouraged, it's a pretty bad spot to make friends or, get dates. In And why is it not a great place to get dates or make friends? It's because any sort of social interaction you have there is going to be unnatural. You have to go over to someone already lifting in between sets, tap them on the shoulder and be like, hey, what's up? Like, you have to like wait in between sets to catch someone at the right time. It's just, and then they're looking at you like, were you just waiting for me to finish my set to talk to me? I'm telling you, it's kind of weird. So, okay, what is an example of a good environment? So, good environment would be someplace that encourages socializing or small talk. A place where it is more common to socialize rather than not. A place like school, for example. So, when kids are in school, high school, or college, of course, most people who are dating during those years are going to be dating someone also at school. Why? Because it's very natural to socialize with people also in school, in your classes, at your club activities, whatever. That's where you make all your friends. That's where you get your dates. And that is exactly how you create the right vibe with a girl or making a guy friend. It's about the right vibe, and if you don't have a natural environment and if it's not a natural interaction, you're not going to have the right kind of vibe. So school is a good example. For me right now, it's a MMA gym. In an MMA gym, you're always training with someone. Or if you're doing jiu-jitsu, you're rolling with someone, you're working together. I would recommend it if you're a guy and you can afford it. Definitely go to an MMA gym or jiu-jitsu gym. It's going to be the easiest way for you to just talk to people, make friends, especially as an introvert. I'm telling you, it's like zero effort. It's like really easy. Now, if you don't want to ruin the environment by having a bad interaction with a girl at that MMA gym, you don't want to shit where you sleep, right? I would recommend just make guy friends at the MMA gym. And then if you and your guy friends want to go out to the lake, to a bar or whatever, you meet your women there. Okay? You bring your guy friends to do something fun. You invite people into the fun that you and your friends are having. That's how you turn what would be a cold approach if you were by yourself into a natural interaction. You're just inviting someone to the fun that you and your guy friends are having. So, you don't want to shit where you sleep. You don't want to make a gym, an MMA gym, and always awkward when you see a girl you fumbled. That's what you do. Also, again, if you are in the mindset of jerking off, or in the mindset of you want to date girls just to have physical intimacy with them, this is not going to work, because you are thinking of socializing with them as transactional. Socializing is not transactional. It's all about good vibes and loving one another. You actually have to care about another person. And it's not a goddamn interview. And one last thing. If an interaction with making a friend or trying to get a girl goes poorly, or if you sense it's going south or it's not going anywhere, just move on. It's okay. Not everyone is going to like you. If someone is not feeling you, just move on. You don't need to force it. And that is the best advice I can probably give you. If a person is enjoying small talk and willing to engage in small talk with you, that's a good sign. They probably like you. So there you go. Those are my 3 steps. Step 1, become physically attractive. Step 2, stop jerking off. Stop watching porn. And step 3, change your environment. It's not you, it's your environment. And I hope this video helped. This was an accumulation of all of my experience and experiments, just dating, looking at my friends' dates, observation, and studying other dating coaches' stuff. So, and I've made sure this stuff actually works in my own life, so you can be sure it actually works. And I hope you implement this stuff. It's going to be really good for you. And I hope this video helped. Alright, that's about it.